Well, I tell you what, I've got a few Harry Potter questions, and then we're going to move on, because I told you before we started that talking to you and not talking about Harry Potter is like interviewing Neil Armstrong and never once bringing up the moon.
There it
Um,
is.
but I do want to talk about Leon Lowe and all the things that you've done since.
Yeah.
But my God, that experience, that working on those last two books, the whole world wants to know how's it all end, and that's got to be like the literary equivalent of walking around like a beetle. Yeah, what's that experience like?
What I used to tell people is that, I mean, yeah, it was pretty awesome, I will say. like, like having these big secrets about what happened, and being like one of 10 people in North America who knew what happened or something like that. Like that was really cool. I do not deny that in any way. But a lot of times people would say to me like, what happened? Can you tell me anything? And what I would say is, you don't want me to tell you. You want J.K. Rowling to tell you. And that's true, because like if I said, if they said, who's the Half-Blood Prince? And I said, Severus Snape, they'd be like, oh, like the fun is all in figuring out the mystery and going along with Harry and discovering all the stuff yourself and being caught up in that. Like again, it's like the facts and the feelings thing. The facts aren't what make a book exciting. It's the feelings that the book creates in you. And that's something that only J.K. Rowling and the experience of reading the book could provide. So it was very special and very exciting. But I also always stayed aware that like I was just a handmaiden on the road to getting the book out, to like telling the story in the way that the author wanted to tell the story. And that was the important thing.
I read, I saw you talk on Nightline about being stopped by a security guard while you've got the manuscript in your bag, and you're walking around basically with the nuclear codes at that time.
Yeah.
What kind of security measures were in place, and how terrified were you that somebody was just going to jack your backpack and make off with the manuscript and it's online tomorrow? Or maybe 3 days. I don't remember how fast the internet was back then.
Actually, the great thing about all of that was that I was like, part of the reason they sent me was that I was just random 20-something number 488. Like I wasn't married. I didn't have a family at the time, anything like that. My best friend at the time, she actually lived in England, so I always enjoyed going to England, and so I could just go over there and nobody paid attention to me. Like, like nobody knew who I was. Nobody cared. And it was lovely to be sort of anonymous and know that I was carrying this thing. I mean, there's certainly the temptation to, like, when you're standing in a gift shop, to be like, I have the Harry Potter manuscript, that was sort of like a low rumble in your brain. But it's also like, if you did that, people would be like, I don't believe you. Like, why would anybody think that? Like that would just be like a crazy thing to say. Like, because obviously nobody would do that. So it was fun, but being anonymous, and important was fun, I guess. Things.
Well, but yeah, enough time has passed. Did you ever say anything to anybody just to test it out or spoil it just a little bit, just to see what that feels like, to tell somebody something secret that only you could know?
The year that I was working on book 7 was also the year I was dating my now husband for the first year, and there was a certain amount of teasing of him that went on.
Well, that resolved itself. He's married. Yeah. You made sure that you kept
I brought him into the family business.
Had to marry him. It was the only way to protect the integrity of the work. Sure.
Right. And he is tall and thin and has bright red hair. So you could also say I married a Weasley.